So before I start this, I'm just going to explain how all the different tiers at work. So the first tier, the top tier is Nerf, which is pretty obvious. Operators such as like Dokubi or like Monty right now that are a bit too good that obviously need a bit of a nerf. Great are going to be operators that are very good, but people would probably complain if they got nerfed. Such as like, I don't know, Ace, maybe someone like that. Good are obviously just like decent operators. They're not like at the top level, but you can bring them every round and you would go wrong, you know? Situational is like operators that you can only bring on certain sites. It's like it wouldn't make any sense to bring them, such as like Bandit and Cade and stuff. And then bad operators are like operators that are like their ability is just like, it's not bad enough that they need to be buffed, but it's just they're just not very good like at all. And buff slash rework is obviously operators like Blackbeard or Tachanka that need a complete rework, and operators maybe like Alibi that need a bit of a buff in my opinion. So yeah, that's just how all the tiers work. Now I'll just start the tier list. Starting off with Sledge, he has a lot of utility. You can play Vert with him, you can get soft walls, you can get castles with him, lots of playmaking ability. It's just if you are going to play Vert, he is very easy to C4 from below. So then Thatcher's next. He's obviously very situational. You know, only if the wall is going to be opened, you're not going to bring him on every site. And then Smoke is after Thatcher. So I think Smoke is a great operator. He has a great guns, great loadout, great ability, especially for a late round. And I just think he's a very solid operator. Now then Mute is next. I think Mute is one of the best defenders in the game right now. He counters Deimos, Lion, Dokubi. Yeah, you can use him for wall denial. You can stop drones. You know, he has the same loadout as Smoke, so it's just very effective. Then Ash is next. Ash is just a very good attacker right now. He has a great gun, one of the best guns in the game. He counters so much utility, you know, you can get rid of so much utility with her gadget. You can open up walls, lots of playmaking ability with her. Then Thermite is obviously situational. You're only going to bring him on certain sites. And then Castle is the same as Thermite, very situational, only going to be effective on certain sites. You can bring him on every site if you want to, but you probably shouldn't. Then I just think Pulse is pretty mid. You can't really do much of him. He doesn't have great guns. You know, his ability isn't great. You know, he's pretty mid operator in my opinion. Now Twitch is next. I think Twitch is a very good attacker right now. You can counter Mira, Goyo. She can get stuff off the wall if you need to open a wall. She has a good gun with the DMR and the F2. Now I think Monty is so broken right now. I think he just needs to be nerfed a little bit. Maybe just get rid of his sprinting, something like that. He just needs to be nerfed somehow. Now Doc. I think Doc is a decent defender right now. He has barbed wire, you know, he's a bailiff, he has a good gun. Healing ability is very nice, but I feel like you should probably just bring some other operators who may be more helpful to your team. Now Rook is just very mid really, because it's such a frag heavy meta, you know, you're just going to get headshot most of the time. You know, he has a good gun, but that's about it really. And Glad's next. I think Glad is pretty mid as well. He's just not really too crazy, you know. He's good for a team because he can get lots of info. But if you're solo queue, he's just like you should probably just bring someone else. Now Fuse, I think they need to buff a little bit, because right now he's just terrible. Because you can just shoot the fuse charges. I think maybe just make it so like you can't shoot the fuse charges, and then I think that's all they need to do. So Capcan's next. I think Capcan is alright. You know, he can stop rushes. He doesn't really have anything to make it rotate. He has a good gun. And it's pretty easy to just shoot the Capcan traps, to be honest, if you just drone and see them, or just simply look at the doors before you go in. Now Tachanka is definitely, this is not going to be a controversial take or anything. He needs like a rework or some sort of buff or something. I think they should put the launcher on his gun, similar to like how Buck's ability works. I think it should have a faster reload time and more damage in the fire, because right now you can just run through the fire. Now Blitz is obviously very good right now. You know, he's not as good as Monty obviously. But the flash is nice, but it is only a very short distance, so he's pretty decent right now. IQ is very situational, only if they have a Valkyrie or maybe a Capcan. You know, it's just not going to be very useful most of the time. Jaeger is pretty good, you know, it's always good to be able to deny any sort of flashes or frags or anything. There's only like 3 ADSs, which isn't great. Take a long time to reset. I feel like Wamai is just a better option to bring. Now Bandit's obviously situational. Same with like Cade later on, only if there is a wall that needs to be, kept closed or whatever. It's very situational. I think Buck is super good right now, maybe even a little underrated. I think he has great utility, his ability's great. The flashes are very nice. He has hard breach, so you can soft and hard breach if you want. The shotgun's very good. You can switch between the gun and the shotgun very quickly. His gun is great. He's just a very good operator in general. I think Frost is very good as well right now. You can kind of stop people entering through a certain window. If you get a Frost mount in, then you can hold the window. He has a great gun with an ACOG on it. The secondary shotgun's nice for some rotates and the head holes. Now Blackbeard, just like he is probably the worst operator in the game right now. Probably needs a complete change of his ability. Complete rework. I don't know what it would be, but the face shield is just not very useful at all. You're very rarely going to get use out of it. Now I think Valkyrie is definitely top 5 defenders right now. I think you could even bring her every single round as a defender. You cannot go wrong. The cameras are so small, and you get so much info with it. You have C4 to C4 from below. It's just great. Now I think Capitao is also very good. The smoke and the fire is great. You can cut people off from swinging you. He also has great guns with the LMG, and it's just regular gun. It's just very good operator right now. Kavera is alright, just because I'm in a lower rank. I know she's pretty terrible if you're coming up against a 5-stack or whatever, but she's fine. Habana, she's gonna go high just because she's a hard breacher. It's always nice to have a hard breacher, but like Ace and Thermite are just better. Her holes are so much smaller. It's just not great. The Echo's pretty alright. I always like having extra cams on the fence. But most of the time you're not really going to deny plants. It's going to be kind of situational, but you can bring them every round. One thing that's good is that you can counter shields, like Monty or whatever. If you hit him with it, the shield will get pushed away and then it's an easy kill. And Jackal is great right now. You can get so much info with it. The footsteps, you can get them from any time in the match. He has a great gun. He's just a very good attacker. Now Mira is obviously situational as well. You're only going to bring her on certain sites. Like, for example, Hookah on Coastline, you're never going to bring her there. Now, I think Ying is definitely probably top 3 attackers right now. I think she needs a little bit of a nerf, maybe. Her gun is just so OP. She has 4 candelas. She has smokes. It's like maybe either take away one of the candelas, or maybe take away the smokes, or I don't know, but she just needs a bit of a nerf. I think Legion is very good right now. He can counter shields. He can get some late round plant denial. He has shotguns for rotates, head holes. He has one of the best SMGs in the game, arguably the best. Moving on to Ella, I think Ella's gonna be the first operator that goes in the bad category. She's just you can bring her every site, but her ability is just not very effective at all. Her gun is not very good. Crazy amount of recoil. Her shotgun's not very good. Now Zofia is pretty different. I think Sophia is a very good attacker. She's pretty. You could probably bring Ash. That's just a better option. But she's pretty much just a worse version of Ash. But the impacts are very nice to have. The stun, you're just yeah, it's okay. You can just bring normal flash. It's kind of the same thing. Dokubi is just objectively the best operator in the game right now. The calls get so much info. You can get where everybody is. They can't go on cams. And then you can also hack their cameras. She has a crazy loadout with her guns. They're so good. She definitely needs a nerf right now. Now, I think Vigil is very good right now with the frag heavy meta. Because the boss G is so annoying. If you come up against someone that's good with the boss G, they can probably single-handedly win that round. And he also counters Deimos and Lion. He's just a very good operator right now. Now we have Lion. Lion is alright right now. His ability is good. It's good for being able to push in the room stuff. He has the flashes, so you can do the ability and then flash in and get a free kill. He has very good guns. He's pretty alright right now. I think Finka is also very good right now with the LMG. Super good. She can res teammates from anywhere on the map. And even if you don't need to res anyone, the adrenaline just makes you faster. It does cut off sound, but that's not too big of a deal. She's a very, very, very good attacker. I think Maestro's alright. I really like cams on the fence. He has 3 of them. That's quite a lot. It's pretty good. You can just put them up to stop them being broken, so it's alright. plant denial as well, and you can get so much info with the cams. It's just a very good operator, I think. Now, I think Alibi is another bad operator. I just don't think her clones, most people just don't shoot the clones. It's pretty obvious when they're a clone. I think she might even need a bit of a buff, even. Maybe be able to change the position of the clones, like maybe make them able to crouch or able to lean or whatever, make them just to make them a little bit more realistic. Maverick is obviously only situational. You're really only going to bring them if they're to get like the bandits off the floor or whatever. And Clash is like probably the most annoying operator to come against. She is pretty hard to counter. It's pretty annoying. She's a pretty long distance for the taser. I think it's like 10 meters. She's very annoying, but obviously very strong on defense if you know how to use her. Now, Nomad, she's alright. You can use her for flank watch, but it's very easy to just shoot the what are they even called? To shoot the air jabs. And it's just like she's just not great. She's alright. Cade is obviously situational, same reason as Bandit. Gridlock is a much better flank watch than like Nomad. She's great for post plant as well. You completely deny some areas for them. She's great guns as well, but she is slow, so I think that stops her from being as high as she could be if she wasn't just so fat. Mozzie is alright, but you could just bring Mew instead. Like he's just a significantly worse version of Mute. It's alright being able to deny drones, but he has decent guns, but it's just like he's just a mid operator. I think Nook is pretty bad right now. She's a bad ability, it's not very useful. She doesn't have silent step anymore, so you can just hear her coming. Her gun is alright. She doesn't have any flashes or anything. Frags are decent, but they're not the best. She's pretty bad right now. No, I think Warden is a very good op right now. He has good gadgets. You can bring a shield or a C4. He has great ability. You can counter Ying completely. You can see through smokes as well. He has a great loadout, with the shotgun, with the secondary SMG. Very good operator. I think Amaru is just pretty bad right now. She has good gun and flashes, but like you could just bring other ops with good guns and flashes and a much more effective and useful ability than her. Goyo is pretty good. You can pretty much bring him on every site. You can stop entry. You can get some info where they are. Great for late round pushes. He has a great gun with the vector. The impacts are nice for making rotates. He has some beepers as well for more info. He's just a very good operator. Now, I think Kali is just an awful operator. A sniper is just not good in Siege, to be honest. Just bring someone else, don't bring Kali. Now, Wamai is very good. He's a much better version of Jaeger. You have much more ADSs. He has a better gun, more info. He's just a much better version of Jaeger. Now, Ayana would definitely be higher before they took away her flashes, but right now she is still very good. You get lots of info. It's pretty much just infinite drone, so it's great, but she would have been higher before. Now, Oryx, his ability is like kind of useless, like the way you can just charge forward. It's good for countering shield, but that's like situational, it's not great. He does have a great gun though. And the jump through hatches can be pretty good for moving around quickly. Now, Ace is definitely one of the best attackers in the game right now. His ability is very quick. He can move around quickly. He probably has the best gun in the game, possibly. He has hard and soft breaching charge. He's just so versatile. You can do so much with him. Very good. Very, very good attacker. I think Malusi's very good as well, I'm big on info, I really like lots of info. I can work off of that, play off of that. The info is great, very loud with the ability. Her gun is great, and she has impacts as well for rotates. Very good operator. There's a reason you see her in Pro League and all these things right now so much. Zero is alright, his cams are very easy to shoot. But, they're very loud when they get shot, so it's pretty easy to see them. Bright red flash on them. He has a good gun, hard breaching charge is pretty good. And if the cam doesn't get shot, you can shoot some stuff off the wall and lots of info from 4 cams. So it's alright. Rooney is a pretty decent ability. Similar to Jaeger and Wamai. I think she is slightly better than Jaeger because she has the punch holes and the DMR is very strong. I think she's just a bit better than Jaeger. Flores is very good, I think, right now. You can get so much utility with his ability. You know, you can get lots of info with it as well. He has flashes, you know, he has a very good gun as well. So I think he's pretty high enough, I guess. Thunderbird is just shit right now. You know, they give her ability gives very little HP. You know, her guns aren't great. You know, she's just pretty shite. Osa is like fine. She's all right. You know, you can get some good info with the shields. You know, but it's just very easy to counter them. If they have impacts, they can just counter both your shields. You know, she has a good gun though, and she's good for planting, so she's all right. Thorn is pretty mid, or maybe I don't know, maybe mid, I guess. Her shield and the weapons are good, but her ability is just shite. You know, it's a bit of info, but like not much. Now, Izami is still one of the best defenders even after the nerf. You can make your own walls pretty much. You make one ways, you make pixel peaks with it. You can delay a lot of time for the attackers. He has some of the best guns in the game, especially on defense. You know, impact grenades for rotates. It's just very strong operator. I think Sens is, you know, they're all right. They're a bit overhated. You know, they're good for planting, pushing into rooms quickly. You know, good guns as well. I think they are definitely overhated, but they're not great. Now, Grim is probably top 5 attackers right now, to be honest. You know, they got hard and soft breaching with the Bailiff and the hard breach charges. He has a great ability. You know, it's a very strong cut people off from swinging you, get people out of tight little corners. Very good for pushing into sight and great for post plant. You know, one of the strongest operators post plant. Solus, I think, is still great, to be honest. After the nerf, obviously, she's not near the level she was, but you can still get lots of info, you know. You get some easy kills if you just for jump outs, you know, see someone on a drone, jump out the window. And it's still good for plant denial, but without the impacts, you know, and like all this other stuff, she's just not at the level she was. Brava's situational, only if they have certain ops like Maestro or Valkyrie or Echo, you know, or Malus even. You know, very situational. Now, Fenrir's still great ability. I think they nerfed him enough now. I don't think they need to nerf him anymore. I think he's just a very strong defender now. And since he gets banned every game, I don't think they really need to nerf him that much. Ram is situational. You're really only going to use her for vert. You can bring her on every site, kind of, but you probably shouldn't. Two Brow is obviously situational as well, only if there's a wall needs to be closed. Deimos is very strong, but he's not like game changing. You can get one or two easy kills, but it's not gonna like single handedly win the round for the team. So he's very pretty strong, but definitely not the best. Now onto the final two. Striker, you know, very strong, super good, soft, hard breach. Can single handedly get walls with the EMPs and the hard breach, or they can even get like caded hatches. Super versatile, very strong. Now Sentry, the defense isn't as good as attack with having multiple gadgets, but it's still very good. You know, you can make some plays with like a beeper and a C4 below, or like a shield and a C4, or shield and impacts. Not shield and impacts. C4 and impacts. Just very versatile. Gotta be high for the versatility. Now if you watch the whole thing, here is the full tier list. Please feel free to let me know if you disagree with any of these takes, and what your opinion is on some of these operators. I know some of these picks might have been a bit controversial, so make sure to let me know. And if you watch the whole video, you may as well join my Discord. You know what I mean? You know, link in the description.